Chef Makoto Okuwa is on a mission. He wants to save you and me from eating mediocre sushi by preserving the centuries-old techniques and traditions of sushi. And he's prepared to conquer the world to complete his mission. Makoto grew up in Japan and showed an interest in preparing sushi from a very young age. He made his first hand roll when he was only 3 years old. By 15, he started working in sushi restaurants as soon as he was legally allowed to work. Makoto didn't go to cooking school. Instead, he worked under master sushi chefs during his formative years as a young and experienced cook. It was while working in these kitchens that he learned the skills and discipline required to become an accomplished sushi chef. After 10 years of working under the sushi masters, Makoto moved to Washington, D.C. to work for a restaurant that would sponsor his U.S. green card. After some time living and working in D.C., he was invited to a dinner party where Makoto had the chance to meet Iron Chef Masaharu Morimoto, who, by the end of the evening, offered Makoto a job at Morimoto's Philadelphia restaurant. Makoto declined the invitation, but a few months later, Morimoto personally reached out to the owners of the DC restaurant and made an agreement for Makoto to start working for Morimoto. Makoto got his first taste of the spotlight when he was invited to assist Morimoto as a sous chef for multiple Iron Chef America competitions during seasons 2 and 3. In 2008, Makoto opened his first restaurant, Sashi Sushi, in Manhattan Beach, California. Also around this time, Makoto returned to the Iron Chef Stadium as a competitor in Season 8 against Michael Simon.
Chef Makoto Okuwa.
In a move that would allow him to take his vision of a traditional Japanese sushi to an international level, Makoto partnered up with star restaurant groups to open restaurants under the name Makoto. The partnership's first restaurant opened in Miami, followed by a restaurant in Panama City, Panama, which is the restaurant we'll be visiting today. When I arrive at Makoto Panama City, I'm taken to the sushi bar where I'll be seated throughout the Omakase experience. This will be my first time experiencing sushi at a restaurant of this caliber, and I have no idea what to expect with an omakase menu. It wasn't long ago that I was just another line cook, grinding it out in a good restaurant in a city filled with great restaurants. But now I'm in a position to visit the restaurants I always wanted to dine at, and to live on the other side of the pass. I'm introduced to this sushi chef, who I later find out has more than 20 years of experience working with sushi. As he gets to work on my first course, I'm mesmerized by the fluidity and gracefulness of his movements as he glides his knife through the fish, slicing each fish prior to its course. The first course was a tempura shrimp with a delicate broth and fine rice noodles. I was instructed to dip the fish into the broth. The flavors were so clean and crisp, without any aggressive, overpowering flavor to detract from the taste of the fish, and it set the mood for the rest of the menu. As the menu progressed, it was soon apparent that each course consisted of a nigiri sushi, often with multiple accompanying sauces, and a garnish which is often included to either help cut through the fattiness of a fatty fish or to add some fattiness to an otherwise lean fish. After the soup course was a salmon belly nigiri with a Szechuan barbecue sauce topped with shiitake mushrooms and maldon salt. It was a rich combination that complemented the salmon, while using the saltiness of the garnishes to cut through the salmon's fattiness. Each slice of fish was at least an ounce, making it difficult to pick up with chopsticks. I fumble a piece and feel like Julia Roberts' character in Pretty Woman's infamous dining scene. I'm instructed that I can use my fingers if it's easier, as it was likely obvious to the staff that I was new to this experience. He's now making a toro hand roll that's filled with a toro tartare, green onions, and shiso, wrapped in nori. This was the first time having otoro, and I was truly amazed at how the fish practically melted in my mouth. Watching each piece of fish being made, I was impressed by the amount of preparation each course required. From cleaning the fish to harvesting the most delicate and delicious pieces from each animal to preparing the accompanying sauces and garnishes, this was totally different from any sushi I had previously eaten. There were courses with contrasting temperatures, like the squid that the chef hit with a blowtorch prior to adding a garlic ginger sauce, olive oil, and lemon zest. Watching the fish react to the flame as the proteins contracted and lightly charred under the fish was all part of the dinner and a show that any fire-loving cook would wet dream about. Makoto's Omakase menu takes the best fish that money can buy and using accompanying flavors whose presence is to accentuate the fish's delicate flavors and textures, his chefs create one-bite parcels of perfection. After 10 courses of amazingly fresh fish using expertly prepared nigiri sushi, the menu switched to dessert. A playful mini paletta or frozen fruit popsicle was placed before me. It brought me back to my childhood and instantly put a much larger smile onto my face. The inner fruit center was mango and yuzu with a white chocolate and coconut exterior sprinkled with ground chili powder. It was the perfect ending to a glorious meal and prepared me to depart the sophisticated world Chef Makoto Okuwa created for us to enjoy and to re-enter the hot and humid reality that is Panama City. Before I arrived at the restaurant, I was afraid that I would be hungry again 30 minutes after I dropped $150 for Makoto's Omakase menu, as I often found myself hungry soon after eating sushi. But the portions of fish were so generous that I probably had close to a pound of fish throughout the menu. And even though my reservation was mid-afternoon, I didn't find myself craving anything else to eat throughout the rest of the day. The omakase menu at Makoto ruined me for life. I'll never be able to look at those sushi places that rely too heavily on cream cheese and avocado as I did prior to my visit to Makoto Panama City. I may be forever destined to sit at the sushi bar, relinquishing control of my dining experience to those who know fish much better than I ever can in this lifetime. Thanks for watching another cook's tour review of Makoto Panama City. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel as we continue the search for the perfect meal.